Chaps, good evening. How are you?
Good, thank you.
I'm good. I'm good.
This is almost, I hate to say it, this has almost been seamless, apart from the obvious, we couldn't hear one another and we're all different heights and all that kind of thing. Apart from that, it was all
Apart from
pretty
that,
seamless.
it was fine. We were 6 minutes in and we're
we were
recording.
almost professional about it. Saran, how are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you guys?
Very good, I am. And
Very
Alex,
good.
how's the week been for you?
Awesome. Busy as hell.
Don't you hate
Lots
when
to
someone's
talk
had an
about.
awesome week?
S23 Ultra week for Alex.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the videos.
Yeah.
Click, clicks. Go on, tell us how many subs have you earned this week then? Come on, let's hear it. Come on. Make me feel bad.
A lot. About 1,000, I think.
Oh,
yeah, it's been
damn.
pretty good.
Wow.
Pretty good.
Okay.
1,000 subs this week on the S23.
Yeah, it was 400 in one video.
Wow.
And I think some spilling
Alex is
over
crushing
from
it.
other
Wow.
videos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean,
It's
all
been
BS
good.
to one side. I haven't seen a video you put up today, Alex, but, so I'm going to try and watch that later on. But
Yeah,
the
I'll
one
talk
that
about
was
that
really-
video.
The 8K video footage. I saw a bit of it. It looked really good. But the S23,
Yeah.
by the way, fantastic phone. I love your content as well on it.
Yeah, his
It is.
editing's
Thanks,
been
man.
like been spot on recently, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
I
was-
tell you, the highlight of this week though is this, that, because Saran was my first guest on my original
I remember
Alex
with
Gear in Tech podcast.
with Shazim, I think. Is his name Shazim? I'm sorry. I think the
Cheyenne.
Is he-
Was it
Cheyenne. Sorry, Cheyenne. Yeah,
Yeah.
my bad. Yeah,
Cheyenne.
yeah. I remember.
And Charlie as well, I think we had.
So how far do you two
Yeah,
go back
yeah.
then?
Nearly 3 years,
quite-
isn't it?
Yeah, we because we had we still do a group chat called Tech YouTubers Unite, where
Yeah.
like a lot of us were starting out on YouTube like during COVID, and we shared tips and advice. Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, because I've learned that a lot of people, because I think you met Patrick, didn't you, Alex, on a WhatsApp group or something?
Yeah, so Patrick and Saran were all in the same,
same
sort of
group.
WhatsApp group. Yeah.
Yeah,
In fact, Patrick brought me to the group and I think Saran was already in there.
Is that group still
yes.
running?
RJ.
Yeah,
Yes,
we'll add you in there.
it
We'll
is-
add you in there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
RJ is the head.
Am I allowed?
He'll let anybody in. That is fine.
Yeah. Honestly,
he'll even let me in, let anybody in. Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I apologize.
No, just kidding.
But- Saran has been very polite. That group is also used for a lot of venting. We go in there. And
Yeah,
moan
we
and-
there's a lot of waffle, to be honest. We just waffle like 90% of the time, like random things, and then 10% of the time it's YouTube.
It kind of
advice,
appeals though,
yeah.
because I've never got, because I know Clubhouse had some of these groups going on, and I know WhatsApp, and I've been flying solo the whole time. I never sort of got involved with any of these, but they sound like they're a really good place to hook up with people and just, we're doing what we're doing here, just having banter and finding out some good ideas and tips.
It really helps. And sometimes you get someone, like myself. I remember at the very beginning, I was using that group a lot more for support and for questions like, how to deal with stuff. And it certainly helps. I think it's important to have a community, whether it's a WhatsApp group or people you can reach out to on a DM. Yeah, definitely don't do it by yourself. Right? As we've learned.
Having those connections as well. Like YouTube is pretty lonely. Honestly, it's a pretty lonely career. So you've got to try and make connections, and like it helps to have a community to rely on. Like you can ask, like, hey, is this thumbnail good enough? Or how about these thumbnails? Or how is your retention doing? Questions like that. It's quite useful. Yeah,
Exactly.
So getting into the nuts and bolts, you just mentioned retention. That's something that I'm really bad at, is the analytics side. I don't spend enough time in YouTube Studio with analytics. What's your sort of form on that kind of area, guys? How much time do you spend in there looking per video, or is it sort of monthly you look?
Pretty much every hour I'm on that. Just looking.
Yeah, there's an addiction to look at the ranking top 10. Is it climbing up? Is it climbing? But I'm pretty bad, if I'm being honest. I feel like I could do better. But I look at the graph. Like, are there any spikes? Or are there any dips in retention? And like, is that like for example, back in the day, I used to ask viewers to subscribe at the beginning, right at the beginning, and there was a dip there, so I could I was like, okay, I should stop asking and begging for subscribers at the beginning, and maybe integrate that better into the video. So things like that.
I was the opposite. I was seeing that my views were really good, but in comparison with other creators, my sub conversion wasn't happening. And I realized that I wasn't asking enough. Now I ask every video, but I think you're right, Saran. If you ask it too early, people go, hang on, I haven't seen anything yet, right? Give me something.
Exactly.
Give me a reason to subscribe.
Yeah.
I find that asking is definitely the way forward. If I don't ask, I guarantee. So I forgot to ask one video recently, and I can tell that I said exactly the same sort of video. I know based on the views how many subs you would have got. And just because I forgot, people don't click.
Well, it's interesting because you and I
have
had a chat a couple of weeks ago about that, Alex. And so on the recent videos, the one that's just gone out today, for instance, I actually made a point of recording in the middle of a field. So it's a complete break. So I did my sort of call to action in a bright yellow top really in the middle of sunshine. So people kind of knew that it was a break in the video. And so far, I've had about 10 subs in the last hour out of that. So I think that's sort of proven to me that actually doing, because you do get this for and against school, don't you, on the subs, whether you should ask or shouldn't. Some people said it's old school. No, you don't need to bother. Everyone knows now YouTube, if you like it, you subscribe. But it's not true.
It's trial and error. I mean, today kind of what I just said kind of goes against everything on today's video, which was a 2-minute video, 2.5 minutes. Anyone, a 5-year-old could have recorded. There's no voice. I don't appear. I think I appear like my back is in the video for like not even 10 seconds, maybe 3 seconds. I don't ask for subscribe. No, and he's getting loads of subs only because people like the video. But it was like,
that's the thing about YouTube. There's no set rule. It just
can never tell.
It just varies massively, and that's why. I mean, I guess that's the fun of it. Like, it makes it fun that it's like a game. You can try and figure out.
You can't predict. You can try and kind of figure out based on data and kind of find out. I think it's best to do that. But there's always curveballs. Sometimes you expect a video to do well, and the more you do it, I'm sure you're the same, Saran. If you do a video on the iPhone 15. Which I've seen the link. I was like, okay, that's my watch later. I know you're going to get a lot of views on that, but if you do a video on something that is like 2 years old, no one's going to click on it.
Yeah.
So in a way, you kind of know what to expect.
When did you? I will say though that I'm. Oh, sorry. I will say that I'm trying to about the 2-year-old thing. I'm trying to actually pivot to doing like long-term reviews. I find that those have kind of become a niche. Like your Apple Watch Ultra video kind of blew up as well, Alex, and I saw other people reviewing their Ultras like 3 months later reviews, but like I feel like long-term reviews are starting to see like a huge audience, and I want to get into that, so I'm trying to do more of those on my channel now instead of just doing news.
Absolutely. I mean, every time there's a new device launched, I always see a spike in, like right now, my S21 Ultra, which I reviewed ages ago, and it's embarrassing when I watch it. It's like, oh my God, that was so bad. But people go back to those videos because you're right. They want to see, because they're probably being handing down phones, or are now, because they're cheaper now, right?
Yeah.
Every time there's a new phone, so that makes a lot of sense to do that. And I'm being very bad with. I mean, the Pixel 7 Pro is an example where I haven't done a follow-up review yet, and it's bad, right? Because it's views that will definitely be there to be gotten. So. But the Apple Watch Ultra is an anomaly, I think, because it's, it ticks so many boxes from a content perspective. We discussed this last time, right, with Michael.
How long have you been on the platform, Sam? How long have you been making content?
I started during COVID, so I think when was COVID lockdown? March? March, April, I think.
March 2020, wasn't it?
2020. Yeah, 2020.
Yeah. So you kind of started right at the beginning of lockdown, did you?
Yeah, so when I was younger, I've done a few like YouTube channels. They're not, I've prioritized the videos, but like they're embarrassing like skits and stuff. But because of COVID gave me a lot of time. Like I got time off school. At that time I was in sixth form. So yeah, I got time off school. So I thought, hey, why not give this
Jesus, how old do I now feel? You're in sixth form.
No, I'm in uni now. But yeah, back then I was in sixth form.
He sees bones creaking here. Yeah, it's time for my bedtime. I'll go and get the Horlicks and I'll get some rest. I'll leave you boys to it. But that was obviously, I mean, I'm kicking myself now for missing the gun on COVID. I was watching YouTube at the time, but I never thought of it as being, well, career, job, whatever. Just didn't think about getting involved. And it was too late into it then. I suddenly thought, you know what, this is something I reckon I'd like to have a go at. But of course, I'd missed that all important, that steal of people being locked at home.
But the thing is, right, that there's no, I feel the same, right? I thought, oh my God, I was always expecting to start a YouTube video or a YouTube channel that I needed to have the right gear, the right light. And I made that mistake myself. It's like, I just waited way too long. I could have started a lot earlier, but I think it's best that you started because you took that step now.
At least you started. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I don't know if it's a truism or not, but this whole thing about shoot 100 or 150 videos. You mentioned a minute ago, Alex, about when you look back at your earlier videos, you think, Christ, I mean, I wouldn't subscribe to it if I saw that. And you realise how bad you were early on, which is part of the process, right? I mean, not many people can hit it perfect from day one.
Yeah. And a lot of people, I mean, it's nice when you hear, right, people that are viewers for a long time, they say, oh, wow, you definitely improved. But you know, I don't need to go that far back. And I look at 6 months ago and I still see my videos going, hang on, why was I doing it so maybe either too robotically or not natural enough? I mean, it's just, I think it takes time, right, with anything. I'm still learning every day. Every time I press record, it's a new adventure for me. It's like, okay, I need to, step up a little bit more every time. And Saran, I remember you saying before, right, where something that's kind of, we don't talk about enough, which is making content about stuff that you are passionate about. And Sarah, I vividly remember you saying this yourself all those years ago, saying that, you had that kind of passion for news and, kind of tech releases and things like that. So how would you rate, that sort of, in terms of importance, when you're starting a new channel?
Definitely passion is a huge thing, because obviously when you're beginning your channel, you're not going to be getting tons of views, or subscribers. You've got to kind of push out content and do it purely for the fun and, because you're interested. So because I've been following like tech news for years. Like I remember being in year 7 and like reading up on the latest iPhone and the latest Galaxy phone and everything. So like I'm basically doing the same thing now, but just, recording it and expressing my thoughts. So yeah.
And because you're uploading daily, aren't you?
So I've taken a bit of a break from that because it got a bit, but yeah, I did. I uploaded daily for like 2 years straight, which was exhausting.
That is a crazy amount of work.
Yeah. But I think it's just not sustainable doing like daily content for years and years. So I've taken a break. I still upload very often. Like I'll say like 5 videos minimum because I do news, so it's quite easy to get like news videos out, and you need to get them out on time anyway. It's not like a review like Alex does, where it's it has a long shelf life. It's news which can expire within a few days. So yeah, I just get as many videos.
And sorry, we can say.
No, I was going to say, and the other thing that to consider here, right? That there's a lot of those channels, but when you watch Saran's content, you can tell that it's how can you be doing this for? I'm surprised you've done it for so long on a daily basis, because the quality was there. So it wasn't just like someone just talking about stuff. It was very, you've done your research and you're very eloquent as well when you speak. So
thank you.
Those videos are excellent quality. So to do them daily, I mean, I take my hat off here. It was amazing.
Thank you.
With doing them daily, what's your process then? I mean, do you sit down and kind of just look at the normal feeds that we all look at day to day, and then you decide that's an interesting story, I reckon I can make a video from that, and then is it pretty much straight to camera?
Yeah. So I usually write a few notes, like what points I should cover, and also have the article in front of me, like the articles I want to cover. And then, I just do it on the spot. I will say though, I am trying to convert to using a teleprompter, because I've heard from so again, the Tech YouTubers Unite group chat, they've obviously been praising the teleprompter, and like I could be more efficient. So I'm trying to convert to that. The thing is though, it's hard for me to follow the lines. Like I'm not used to like reading off a teleprompter. So I'm trying to get used to that. But
you've got one, yeah?
Right now, I've got one. Yeah, I've got one.
I got one, I think 3 weeks ago. I've used it on the last 3 videos, and it's made such a difference. The first one I was a little bit wooden on, but the amount of time you save on recording, that's crazy. Yeah.
What I've started to do now is when I'm writing, I know where I might come up with something a little bit kind of off the chart a little bit, but adds to the video, right? So it's not so scripted. Because people can tell, right, when it's so scripted that you're reading an article, it's probably not a good idea either. So I'm kind of playing around with leaving gaps between different subjects, and I either, sometimes I just add a bit of music. It's like silence, I add some music to change the scene a little bit. Or sometimes I crack a joke, and a lot of the times it's just a brain fart that comes up, as when I'm recording, and I'm starting to leave those in, because they as you said, it's nice to give people a break. So I let them digest the information, go on to the next thing. Yeah. Because otherwise you just, it's a long video, and when you're reading a lot, it's it won't sound as natural and as pleasant to watch.
But
So,
particularly with you doing so many. Ooh, my Mac's going to fall in a minute if I keep doing that. Ooh, that was about. Suddenly, someone monitoring front of me going, I don't know, don't. If it goes solo in a minute, you'll know why. Yeah, we're doing factual news bulletins daily or 5 days a week, whatever. That is all facts. I mean, surely if you had it down on a teleprompter for you particularly, that would make things that much easier and quicker, wouldn't it?
Yeah. That's the big. So right now it takes me like I'm pretty quick because I've been doing it for so long now. I take around 15 minutes to record an 8-minute video, so I'm pretty fast as is, relative. Yeah, but obviously, like I'm hoping with a teleprompter I can be like 10 minutes or something, or maybe 9 minutes, something like super fast like that. That would be really nice. But the problem is, I don't write like I speak. Like I wrote a script and I tried reading that, but it just came off really robotic.
Yeah.
Like it's not really natural. I need to get used to writing scripts I guess read it out and try and make it more, natural.
Yeah.
I always, this was, I think Sagi from I forgot, Tech Gear Talk, right? It's amazing channel as well. Patrick and I interviewed him, and he did kind of provide this kind of what his process is, and he said when he's recording a video, he will read the script out loud first without recording.
Okay.
Sometimes he will even record it, but then actually go for real and record it for the second time. Because in that first time you do, you kind of get the intonations, you get the pauses, the little jokes that you might want to come up with. And I started to do that. It saves. I mean, it's embarrassing for me because for me it takes, I'd say, 40 minutes to record a 10-minute video.
Yeah, I got it down to 25 minutes this week for the one that's just gone out today, which I was pretty happy with. And it was exactly that, because I write as well blogs every day, Saran. So I mean, when I started to write scripts, I was making the mistake of thinking I was writing a blog. And as you just said, the way you need to write when you're talking is different to how you write when you're writing. There is a big difference. But I didn't know Sergey said that, but that's exactly what I do. I load it up on the teleprompter without recording. I just read it through once or twice, check the scripts kind of sounds natural, make any edits if I need to, and then I'm kind of more comfortable with it. You kind of know what's coming, and it really does seem to help. But trying to write as if you're talking is a very different art form.
Yeah. Still learning that.
But that was it was money well spent. I think I've got exactly the same one that the Glide Care one. I think is the one I picked up, which is what it was just finding the right app then. And I think it's the same app that Patrick uses actually, which is a Pro something. I've got my phone switched off now, but it basically
from Smart.
I think
that's it.
Yeah, the one that follows your voice, right? I've got that as well. Yeah.
The only trouble I have with that is, Patrick had exactly the same phone. The iPad, even though it's probably only 1.5 meters away from me, doesn't pick up my voice. So I have to have a lav mic sitting on a desk in front of me just to make sure it's picking up my voice perfectly. And even then, it still misses a beat every now and again.
My recordings, I'm always like this. Scrolling.
I know, that's what I was thinking. Because then, of course, it's silly things like that when you buy it. You don't realise, you can't just have it scrolling, because, of course, by the time you hit start and you're sitting back in your chair, it would have gone on 10
that's the thing.
Really screwed.
It's horrible.
I know. You always think, it sounds so simple, doesn't it? You think, buy a teleprompter and let it be the end of all my problems. It's kind of just the start of another set of problems until you get over it.
Yeah.
I even started taking one that's just on the teleprompter. I even started taking a small one that I used for the first 2 years of YouTube. I take that out when I go externally now, because for external shots, I want it to sound natural, but I can ramble very quickly. It can be like a 30-minute recording for a 10-second clip. It's just I'm a convert for sure in teleprompter.
So, some of your editing recently, Alex, I've got to say, without sounding like a bumlick, it has been impressive, my friend. Impressive.
Yeah, very, very.
It's hard work. It's hard work.
The polish, Alex is the polish on your videos, Alex. Amazing, incredible work.
Yeah, I think like you're saying with
100K this year. I have a feeling.
I'm not sure. Maybe next year, but I think like you're saying, the same thing for you, right? When you were saying daily videos is unsustainable, the same goes for editing at that level of quality. It took a lot out of me in the last few videos. I know it's everyone does it, but I was up until 3 a.m. several times to produce those videos, and it's just, you can't do that all, for every video. You'll kill yourself.
I had a classic last night. I finished, I think, about 11, but all night long I was worried about getting up, because I did something new, which was the speech to text thing. I'd never done that before, And I kind of had it all lined up and I kind of thought I knew what I needed to do. But all night long, I swear, I was worrying, what if this doesn't work after all that? And I had it all lined up to walk back into, and I couldn't sleep. I was literally thinking, which is ridiculous, right? It is ridiculous how it just gets into your bones and into your pores. And that video for that week just consumes you, doesn't it? Well, in your case, 5 videos a week.
Yeah, which is why it's so important, right? To be passionate about
I'll be
this.
honest,
Imagine
doing... the comments, especially at the beginning, like I always used to worry about the comments and like people hating on me. Now I don't really look at the hate, but like I usually just block any hate comments. But back then I used to fear, like every time I uploaded, like, oh no, someone's going to cancel me for something. Like I said something wrong. Oh no.
What have you found? Have you had much in the way of, sort of trolls or, the people just coming on just to talk crap about? You've had much of that or not?
Yeah, I mean, it's happened. I don't think it happens as often now because I've built an audience that knows my content. But initially, there were a few trolls, but it's just part of life. It's part of YouTube. You just gotta try and get over it. It's just comments at the end of the day. Just block them and they'll be gone.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, it's really the thing that always gets to me. These people find it very brave to sit behind their YouTube name and make these really horrible comments when you sat there all week, or again, your term, 5 times a week, making these videos. They haven't got the nuts to do it themselves. They see fit just to talk smack about what we're doing. I suppose it's nature of the beast, right?
Yeah.
I think like Saran's saying, right? I think it's important to, if you're going to spend any energy at all responding to comments, focus on the positive ones first.
Yeah.
There's always one that's going to get to you, right? Because they're like, come on, I worked really hard for this. But I'd say what Saran said is exactly right. Just ignore them most of the time. When there's an opportunity for a funny comeback, trust me, I will not delete. I will definitely say
you and Patrick are the best at this. I love reading your when Patrick posts his screenshots of his replies. They're too good.
He's savage, absolutely savage. Yeah.
You had a lovely one today, I saw as well, didn't you, Alex?
Yeah, so I had.
I don't know how much you paid him, but it was a lovely quote. I don't know which member of your family it was, but
that's exactly what. Yeah, exactly what I'm talking about, right? It's like, it's only 50 quid, right, to give someone to
small change, right?
But no, I actually pinned that comment, even though that was a sponsored video, and you meant to pin the sponsored thing. But it's kind of it's been a few weeks now, so it's like, you know what, I'm going to pin this comment because yes, there's negative comments in every single video, but there's hundreds more positive ones that, like I said, should spend the energy on those.
Are you at the stage, Saran, where you managed to reply to all comments still at the moment or not? Or is it just too many?
So I did try and do this initially. To be honest, it got too overwhelming. Like I would say I replied to because I know obviously the people who watch every video, like I know the regulars. So I usually reply to them and any other nice comments, obviously, but I can't really get through everything, basically. Yeah.
You got another 4 videos to make each week. Of course you can't.
Yeah.
You must enjoy the weekends off, I would have thought.
Yeah. It's very refreshing. Yeah.
What's your gear then? What's your camera?
Yeah, so I'm not really that fancy, but I got the ZV-E10, which is like, I'm not a huge camera nerd, like a lot of other YouTubers. I just need a camera that works and is reliable. So the ZV-E10 just works perfectly for me. I've got some just regular light boxes, and it's not really fancy tech, really. Yeah.
That camera is great, actually. I've got that as well as my. Sometimes I use it as a top down or as a second angle. That camera is fantastic. I mean, it's. I showed it to you when you were here.
Because it's a pure. They call it a vlogger's camera, don't they? It's
it's a bit of a cringe vlogger, but it does do the job. It's very easy to use, and that's what I need. And also the full autofocus is really good. So yeah.
I mean, my camera's a bit crap, but I bought it from him. So Alex palmed me off with one of his old didn't want anymore, and I thought,
you're destined. You're destined.
No, it's the best thing I ever did. I have come to really enjoy camera videos now and photography, but I bought the Canon 90D from Alex before Christmas. Best thing I ever did. Again, it just takes.
It's a great camera.
I'm really enjoying it, and it's just become another area that I can begin to be a nerd and a bore with to anybody that's willing to listen, which not many people do. So have you using a Samsung phone as well, Saran? Because I know you said to Alex at the beginning it's a great phone. Have you got Samsung as well?
I've got.
He won't admit it.
You can't.
Actually, I do have
the truth.
I am using a Samsung phone alongside my iPhone. It's kind of a secret, I guess. I don't know, but I've made a video regarding this, but the iPhone's been pretty bad recently, like in terms of bugs and stuff. So I found the Samsung to be more reliable.
Oh, what sort of bugs you found then?
Yeah, so the phone. So number one, the phone has been restarting randomly. Like
was it a 14?
14 Pro Max. So yeah, the latest A16 super fast chip. But for some reason, when I'm just doing regular things, it restarts for no reason. And this has happened like 3-4 times now, which is like really odd. And also, the phone doesn't wake up sometimes. Like I try tap the screen, doesn't wake up. And the battery life also hasn't been as great. It's just like the 13 Pro Max was amazing. I'm kind of regretting buying this phone. I should have kept that.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because obviously you've been putting up one against the other very much, haven't you, for your videos, Alex? So I mean, you're in a really good position to the battery life on the, because I've never touched an Android. I've never used one, so I've got nothing. Oh, wow. I've always been iPhone, and this is my first Pro that I bought this year, the 14 Pro. And I've got to say the battery life recently has been a bit crap. I've just had to put it on charge now while recording, and I suppose I took it off charge this morning at about 6:30, 7 o'clock. And it wasn't lasting particularly well. I haven't hammered it today at all. I recorded a short on it, and that was pretty much it.
Apple have definitely gone down. I mean, the last couple of years has been really, I mean, especially iPad and iPhone for me, I don't know what they're doing, man. It's just... the
iPad, don't get me started. The iPad. Oh,
it's collecting dust right now. I'm generally using my Tab S8 Ultras on my desk here. The iPads, I get the iPad Air most often because the Pro, I don't see the point of it right now. It's just, but yeah, the bugs and the kind of the slowness. There's something with the iPhone 14 Pro Max in particular that I think that's gone wrong. The iOS 16, I think it is just not. I don't think is done properly. Whatever they've done with this software has improved a little bit with some updates, but then it breaks other things. And I found the same with the Watch Ultra actually.
You said the battery was suddenly tanking on that, didn't you?
Yeah,
it's amazing now. It literally is like 4 days now. You know, if I go to the gym, it's like maybe 2.5, 3 days. But if I'm like not going to the gym and not going for runs and stuff like that, 3-4 days. But yeah. For that Watch OS 9.2, the entire time that release was out, it was 1.5 days. It's like, what's going on here?
That's the annoying thing with iOS 16. I'd say initially with the 14 Pro Max when I got it, I was disappointed. But like the battery life was not great, and I was facing bugs. Then with 16.1, they fixed everything. I was really happy. The phone was fantastic. Then 16.2 came around and things were broken again. And then 16.3 got worse, and things are slightly getting better now with 16.3.1. But it's annoying that like each month there's a new update that either breaks things or fixes things. It's just this vicious cycle. Like it's annoying because like Apple controls the software and hardware, but for some reason they can't keep up with like Samsung and Google, who's nailing everything now.
Because I think since the last time you and I made a video, Alex, I had the HomePod. And what a bloody saga that was. Like HomePod, it's as simple as it can be. 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
So 8 hours.
I watched your video, yeah.
8 hours in on a Sunday with an Apple advisor, and he couldn't work it out. I mean, it just, and then honestly, what the problem ended up being that the iPhone 14 Pro wouldn't see it to AirPlay 2 and wouldn't see it as a speaker. The age-old iPad Mini, my mum's old Mini, donkey's old, that found it fine. But Apple TV wouldn't see it as a default speaker either. So I had to keep set it up as a manual speaker. He couldn't, he was almost saying I needed to flatten my phone entirely. And I was like, no, come on, that's a big ask for a speaker, a £300 speaker. Yeah. And 2 days later, there was a 16.1. That was it. What they just said, minor bugs. I thought, no, bloody kidding, minor bugs. Like it actually works now. Yeah. So that's the first time I've really been hit by a big bug. I mean, I'm beginning to enjoy it now. I can actually sit down in the evenings and enjoy it. But the first couple of days, of course, it was just a complete ball ache because it was just taking so much time to use it.
Yeah. I think Apple have relied a lot on their products being amazing quality for so long, right? And right now, I mean, I've been using the Fold 4, which was a complete revelation for me as a different form factor. And just recently, the S23 Ultra, I was not expecting it to be that good. It's head and shoulders in every aspect, including video. I mean, not for every single type of video. There are some like 4K 24 frames per second that Apple, I think, depending on the light and whatever, still to me edging it. But there are some amazing footage coming out of this phone that I'm thinking, wow, they've really stepped up. So and the audio quality as well is just, I can't believe what I'm listening to. I'm like, it's like a professional microphone was used here, and it was
the mic is way better with the S23.
Oh, is it?
I was very surprised. Yeah. I watched Alex's video, and Mr. Who's Boss also made a comparison, and a lot of other channels too. And yeah, the video, while the footage itself is still slightly better on the iPhone, the microphone is incredible on the S23.
Yeah, that good.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah.
Because I haven't watched either of your videos today. I've been getting ready for this and stuff, but I mean, I'll watch them later on. But yours, Alex, was a short video, I'll take. Well, not a short, but only a 2 minute, and it was to do with the 8K. So what's the 8K look like? So compared to, say, iPhone's 4K footage, does it look amazingly different or not?
Yeah, the problem is I discovered that to upload an 8K video to YouTube, there's quite a few steps that not many people talk about either. I mean, I know that MK Marquez do it. There's a lot of people doing it, but I'm not sure it's well publicized on how to do it.
I didn't know you could.
So you can. If you export it at the right bit rate, which Final Cut Pro won't do it. So I had to install Premiere Pro last night.
I thank you. I will bow to you coming back to the homeland.
I could be totally be doing something wrong, right? But it turns out I was doing some research like, you have to install, I forgot the name of the thing, but it's like £50. So hang on. You're telling me that
you have to pay £50? Oh, okay.
What, for a plugin of some sort?
No, it's not a plugin. It's a full-on like app. I was just telling the guys earlier. So yeah, £50 to install it so that you can export at a higher bit rate, because YouTube will automatically say, okay, that's an 8K video. Now, I export it 3 times through Final Cut, different settings. The files are like 40 gig for a 2-minute video.
Oh.
Imagine uploading that and waiting for it to process, and then it goes, okay, it's only 4K.
Do you upload in 4K?
So it took me a long time.
Yeah, 4K.
Yeah, because I must admit, I let my standards go on the last podcast. When we do these hour, and I've been uploading a 4K video, they're about 45, 50 gigs, and it just crashes my net. I can't do anything for hours. Oh, okay. So last week I did actually end up sending up in 1080. And to be honest, for a podcast, I think it was more than watchable, clearly, because when I was talking to Kelsey, the Premiere girl, I had her on by myself last week, and she was saying she uploads all of her videos in 1080, and I was looking at her and I thought, well, to be fair, I mean, they look really nice quality.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think the quality, I think like
is it just a
YouTube,
snob thing?
Yeah, it's the tech audience. The tech audience for some reason cares about having the highest resolution, but like I admit, like I don't get many comments. Because I was recording like 1080 for the first year or so, and I switched to 4K, and I got a few comments, but most people didn't notice. So I could have probably kept on going using 1080, but it's the tech audience just wants the highest resolution, but I think regular viewers just don't really care.
I think you're right. I think there's an argument for, and this is just hypothetical, I'm not sure if this is actually happening, but I wonder if the algorithm will maybe favor, right? If there's 2 videos recorded about the same thing, and one is a 1080 and one is a 4K, I'm pretty sure the algo will favor. It would make sense to favor the higher quality one, right?
That's fair. Yeah.
There's so many factors, right? But I'm pretty sure the quality there would count. But quality-wise, they don't look that different. Especially when people are watching on their mobiles, right?
Well, that's the thing. Most people listen on AirPod. I mean, always spend ages on the audio's my thing. You know, that's the thing I learned first and really enjoy. And I spend all this time on making the audio sound, particularly on the audio version of the podcast, making it sound really crispy and really tight. You know, take a lot of pride in it. Denoise, you name it, it's done. But of course, people end up listening on AirPods, on a train or whatever. So whatever,
or even worse, on the speakers of the phone. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we spend all this time doing it. Did you say Marquez uploads in 8K then?
Yeah,
it figures, doesn't it?
Farouk, I think it does as well. Yeah.
And Marquez always cares about the resolution though. Like he just wants the highest resolution. Like he has a Red camera, which I mean, I mean, I understand he's enthusiastic about it, but like, you don't need a red camera for YouTube. But you know, he's Marquez. I won't hate on him.
No,
I can't hate on him.
Yeah, dear Marquez,
I'm surprised he's not doing
wrong.
12K yet.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know. It's only a matter of time, isn't it? Because that's what, again, it's this old thing about no matter how well you record it, you're still compressed by what YouTube compression is. You know, so as long as your footage looks good and is clean and is punchy and the audio's decent, that's good enough, right? You know, none of us are putting crap out there. So,
yeah.
It kind of.
I was impressed though by how quickly 8K was processed once I uploaded with the right, the right settings. But
their processing speeds at the moment are like that, aren't they? I've noticed YouTube's I put a 9-minute video up today and it was processed within the hour. I was really surprised. There's no delay on it at all. You know, I kind of set it for much later in the day to go live, and I looked and it's processed ready. I thought, okay, fine, bring it forward. Awesome. What was your video on today? So I can say I haven't caught up. I've been busy.
So, the Apple Watch Ultra 2, there's been rumors regarding that. So I made a video regarding the next Apple Watch Ultra. Yeah.
And tell us.
Yeah.
Tell us.
What are the rumors? Because I've got blogs to write tomorrow. So give me some detail.
So micro LED, that's like the big news. Like we're going to see micro LED either next year or 2025. And that's supposed to be like the next, the next version of OLED, I guess. It has like, it's even better than OLED, and it
blacks and so on,
yeah, and it should also have a bigger screen on the front, which is quite nice. So possibly thinner bezels, or because I'm hoping it's not bigger. Like I'm hoping the watch itself is physically the same size,
it's
but they've just
size now. Yeah.
Made the bezels thinner. That would be nice.
Have you got an Ultra?
I think that. So yeah, I can't justify it because I don't use my Apple Watch a lot. Like I sometimes forget to wear my Apple Watch. It's a cool device. I love everything about the Ultra, but I just don't use my watch enough to justify it. So yeah, I don't get it.
But
sorry, Alex. Yeah.
One of the questions that I get a lot about whenever I kind of go and upload a Watch Ultra video is about the lower size. So the standard size Apple Watch Ultra. The Apple Watches. People go, why can't Apple just do the same design of the Ultra into the S for the S9? Have you heard anything around that?
I thought there was some
sort
talk.
Of style going.
I thought there was some talk. There was going to be a smaller Ultra, possibly.
That would sell a lot.
That would be nice. I think that would be nice. But I haven't heard. I think so. Apple usually has like a 3-year cycle with their designs. So the regular watches, Series 7 was a redesign. So Series 7, Series 8, Series 9 should stay the same, like design wise. I think Series 9 is going to be the chip upgrade year. So basically Apple had the S6, S7, S8. They have different names, but they're the same chip. They're identical to each other. And I know it doesn't matter. It's a watch. You don't need super fast performance, but they're going to update the chip in the S9. So it's going to be, I guess, I think the S6, the S8 right now is A13 level performance, like the A13 from the iPhone 11. So I think they might boost that to an A15 maybe. I don't know, but yeah, that's going to be the big upgrade, I think.
I did find that with this Watch Ultra that the difference it makes just by having a slightly more friendly screen is amazing. I mean, I use some apps on the Watch Ultra that I would never have used before on the previous watch, the Series 5, which I had. I just think there's something to be said about that flatter display, maybe slightly bigger as well, because it makes the apps more usable. I mean, you can technically type on it, but that's going too far. But just using apps, any like Spotify or whatever.
Because I've been working with this renders guy now. I've met this renders artist, Saran, and he's brilliant. So today I put up an iPhone 15 video, and he's drawn these amazing renders for me. But apparently the glass on that, and also it helps, he's a real nerd as well. So he's one of us. So he comes back to me. I sort of send him over the things I want to talk about, and he comes back with me with really granular kind of engineering details. And apparently the bezels on the iPhone 15 are going to curve much more like the iPhone, like the Apple Watch 8. So they're going to have that. You can just about see the display at the edges kind of thing, this 2D glass, which hopefully makes it a little bit tougher as well. So that's where these bezels are going to be thinner, isn't it, they're saying?
Yeah, I'm not excited for that, to be honest, because I feel like the great thing about the displays being flat now is that screen protectors are easy to apply. Like if you remember with the iPhone 10, the iPhone 10 days, like I remember struggling to put screen protectors on. And even with the Galaxy S23 Ultra right now, I heard many complain about finding good screen protectors because the screen curves around the side. So I'm not excited. I mean, it'll look cool. It will look really nice, but practically, it's not going to be a huge upgrade.
Yeah, I hadn't thought about that issue about screen protectors actually with the curved screen. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah.
That is going to make a difference, though, isn't it? But again, there's all this talk at the moment that resources at Apple are so tight right now because everything's being thrown at the headset that they've got just no manpower left to really. If we think iOS 16 is bad, Godspeed with iOS 17.
Yeah, I know a lot of people are talking about the headset, but I just can't get excited. Like until Apple shows us the use cases. No, I'm not a gamer, and I've used the Meta Quest like for my friend has one, I think, and he let me use it, and it was nice, but I wouldn't buy it. Like I probably would use it like for a few days and then forget about it. Like it's not something I would use on a regular basis. So to spend like £3,000 on one, and yes, it might be slightly higher resolution, but like, is that worth it?
I agree.
I don't know. Apple we need to see the use case basically. Like Apple needs to show us, hey, why do you need this?
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a Dub 2021 where there was a rumor that they would announce it there. There was, I think the imagery for the Dub event had some glasses on it. And I remember I did a video on it. So, okay, this has to be it. And I remember thinking, I don't care about the headset so much, about the kind of VR aspects, because I just think, like you're saying, right, it's okay, well, this is not new. Everyone's done it before. I don't find myself using it. I don't buy into the metaverse sort of idea either, right? That sort of virtual reality. But I do like the idea of augmented reality. I think that's, if I could wear like normal glasses with some heads-up display sort of things that for notifications or, driving directions or whatever, that's where I think, we would benefit a lot. And I mean, Google did it, right? In 2015.
Google Glass. Yeah, I'm actually kind of sad that didn't take off. Like that was a pretty cool concept.
Why didn't it take off?
Privacy issues.
Yeah.
Privacy, and I guess people were, so privacy is a big thing, but also I remember like CNET making a video about like, imagine having a conversation with someone and you couldn't focus on them because you were busy getting notifications in your iView, like things like that. But the tech could have been refined. I don't know. It still had potential.
It's an easy problem to solve for me. I mean, I'm not an engineer of any sort, but I'm thinking, because I think the action to take a photo or record a video was to blink twice or something, with one eye or something. So it's like, if you've got sensors on the glasses, so the glasses would know that you're in a public space, first of all. So, okay, I can imagine the line of code. If you're in a public space, do not record.
Yeah, do be a good boy at all times.
/ don't be an idiot.
But you always get, I mean, that's the thing. The privacy is the big issue. I think we did briefly talk about that before, because of course, if you can just be merrily standing there taking photos of people just by blinking an eye, it is a big thing. They've got to try and, particularly when it comes to like children's safety and stuff like that, you really got to think carefully about it, haven't you?
Yeah. Everyone will feel nervous, right? If you go into like the tube and you go, hang on, that guy's wearing a glass and looking at you, you never know. Are they recording me? Or what are they going to be doing? I've been used to people looking at me all my life, mate, honestly. It's a problem.
Yeah, the tube is just a very uncomfortable environment in general. But
you're into spy world, and I find it really useful. I think it would be amazing, but if used properly, right?
Has the Android world got a similar thing to AirDrop, by the way, or not? And also, is your AirDrop working? Because mine seems to be a little bit broke a lot of the time at the moment.
It's funny enough. Other thing, it's been actually the best it's been for a long time. Because I remember having to once a day. On AirDrop.
Yeah, exactly. I've had trouble with my HomePod. I've trouble with my AirPod. I think I should move this house. I need to leave.
Oh, I see. Yeah. But Nearby Share is what's called on
Android. So you can do
exactly the same thing.
So you can drop things over to your PC and so via it, or even can you go to a Mac as well?
No, don't be silly.
Yeah, that's the thing.
One step too far.
That's the thing. That's the thing that's keeping me on the iPhone, because I transfer
would kill iPhones. Yeah,
like footage from my iPhone to my Mac, and I can't do that on Android. So I don't think I could daily an Android as a personal device, but secondary device, sure.
What do you work on? And do you work and edit on a Mac?
Yeah, Mac.
Yeah. So
the base the M1 MacBook Air. I have not upgraded to M2 or M2.
Oh, you're a MacBook Air even?
Yeah, the base M1. Yeah.
And obviously,
honestly, those machines are. Yeah, the kind of peak.
So you're editing Final Cut then?
Yes, Final Cut.
So obviously that is optimized for Mac, isn't it? Very much so. I mean, I know we've had this chat many times. I'm an Adobe boy. If I'm not sort of an Apple bitch, I'm an Adobe bitch, and I use all of their products. And I know Alex keeps saying, you got to switch over to Final Cut. But I guess it would be optimized.
Say that? No,
yes, you basically tied me to a totem pole and said, you're doing it wrong. You need to be on Final Cut like the professionals. But I'm just wondering how much more optimized it is for Mac than Adobe. I mean, Adobe has been a lot better recently, much, much better recently.
The subscription thing is what puts me off because, I pay a flat fee for Final Cut and I've already made my money back through obviously videos, but like paying subscription, there's already too many subscriptions in the world. Like you have subscriptions for everything now. So yeah, I'd rather pay a flat fee for one thing. That's why I prefer Final Cut.
Yeah, that's where I guess my view is kind of skewed because I use a lot of the other apps in what I do as well. So I use Photoshop, Lightroom, Illustrator, InDesign. So then the 50 quid a month, if I'm spending most of the day using 4 or 5 of the apps, kind of makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah,
it does. Yeah.
Where are you at with shorts, Saran? How do you sort of take on
those?
So
I've been trying. I feel like I don't know. The news format doesn't really. So I did upload a few like news bites as shorts, but they're not really clicking. I did one video on can you connect the 2nd gen pencil to an existing USB-C iPad, because obviously when the iPad 10 came out, there was a controversy regarding the 1st gen pencil. Sorry. So yeah, I was like, could you plug in the 1st gen pencil to an existing USB-C iPad? So I tried that and I did a quick short on that and that got 60K views, which was surprising. So I'm guessing I need to do more like, I don't know what kind of, what format is that? But like how-tos,
the auxiliary bits and bobs,
Yeah, that seems to work. So instead of the news thing should stay as a long form content, but maybe like the how-tos, those could be shorts.
Obviously, you're both monetized. I'm yet to cross that threshold to earn a dime from all of this malarkey. Have you started to see any money coming through from shorts yet? Because they're starting this month, aren't they?
It's not a lot. I think I've seen people complain about this. It's not a lot, and it makes sense because it's really hard to put ads. Yeah, like that's the thing. Like the whole ad, the monetization program doesn't really work with shorts because you can't put a 30-second ad before a short. So yeah, it's not a lot, but I mean, it's not the main form of. I'm still doing long form alongside it, so it's not a huge issue.
I always thought, even before starting doing this thing, right, I thought the money from AdSense in the tech space is just no point. I mean, you have to just look at even the bigger channels, right? Their CPM is so low, right? You're talking like less than 10 quid or whatever. It's some of the best channels have shared before that, like £3, £4 CPM. I mean, mine is quite high for some reason in comparison, but it's still, I always see that as a bit of a bonus. And if it doesn't come 1 month, it's like, okay, do you know what? It's whatever.
How's the CPM worked out? Is it a flat rate then or not? Is it anyone in the space?
Depends who's advertising on your channel.
Yeah.
But in the tech space,
it varies,
the rule is like 5 average or something. It does vary. Like a finance channel is ridiculously high.
I've heard that they're really good.
So if you do a channel on crypto and it gets enough views, you'll be doing really well. But
because of course the AdSense thing is, it'd be a landmark. I want to get there, but then I know that is only a very small portion of it. It's obviously monetization from sponsorships and so on. Do you take on many sponsors videos, Saran?
So this is the thing. I don't know. That's probably my weakness right now. I'm not sure how to present myself to brands, and like I haven't done much of that. This is not my sole. Like this is still like a side gig I'm doing, alongside a uni and stuff. So I don't really need to rely on this income. So I haven't really done sponsorships. I need to expand. I need to get into that. But yeah, I'm not exactly sure how.
Alex is your man.
Because the emails I get from I've got a business email and I do get emails, but they're not really reputable brands. Like I'm getting random, there's a hack going on right now where if you click a link in an email, your channel gets hacked. So I'm just like, okay, you know what? I'm not gonna get in touch with these dodgy brands. Stick to the reliable ones. But
there's so many security cameras and alarms that you can review. Right? And it's like,
Well, I got one email a couple of weeks and I forwarded it to Alex because I read it. And normally, like you, and I thought, read it and that's straight in the bin. And I read this one and thought, that actually looks like it could be kosher. So I sent it to Alex, and even you said, and unfortunately, they just said they didn't have the budget. But, at least it was the first approach. And I was,
It was legit.
It's that thing. I was surprised. Why would they get in touch with me? They get in touch with somebody much bigger. It's that weird thing, why me? But yeah, it was a genuine offer, but they just didn't have any kind of budget.
Wow.
I had a weird one this week. Somebody wanted to publish one of their own blogs on my website and they're willing to pay for it. I said, 750 quid, I'll publish it. And she said, is there any movement on it? So I'm thinking, okay, 500 quid, you can write something. But that's an odd one, wanting to write on my website. Very strange.
That's
Didn't
crazy.
understand that at all. But, but you're just always skeptical about these things, aren't you? You just think, it can't be for real. But I mean, I know you've worked with a lot of brands now, Alex, and you've got some good brand associations as well.
I can see sponsorship options for Saran that would work really well. I mean, and I think I've seen other channels that you don't actually need to talk about the brands themselves, but I think you see that a lot in the gaming world, where you just have their logo somewhere in the screen, or you have an item, whatever it might be, right on the desk that shows the brand. So sometimes, because it's a news thing, you don't want to distract your viewers from the content. So maybe just having something on the screen for the brand, and maybe at the end you might say, this brand supports the channel or whatever. That might work. Like there's so many like VPN things, and there's brands out there that would say would work well with the channel. But you're right, it's just finding the time and the kind of it takes a lot of effort. I haven't really mastered the. I came up with the ghost emoji. That seems to be something that works for me.
I get these.
I go
really
on Instagram.
This is halfway through the day, Alex. It just sent me this screenshot of ghost. He said it's worked again.
It worked. The success rate is amazing. You email a brand and then you wait 2 weeks, they will ghost you. And then you just send like crying emoji and then the ghost emoji after that, and they'll come back straight away. I'm really sorry. I will come back to you straight away. And I've got so many brand deals just doing that. Incredible.
Does it slow the whole production process down? Because presumably they generally need approval, I would imagine, do they?
Yeah.
So
and there's contracts and things that,
Yeah, that's another worry for me.
Yeah.
Like, so if I need to wait for somebody to approve a video, and then like by the time they approve, maybe the news is old and then I can't upload the video. Yeah, that's a huge
I have a bit of
me.
a red line on those, right? So I think that there's, and every creator is different, right? For me is, you've seen my channel. There's nothing really that controversial in there, right? If you're not comfortable with not having me talk about your brand, then let's not even start the conversation. But if you've seen my channel, you like the content, then let's stop wasting time, right? Trust me, I'll follow your brief, unless it goes against what I believe, right? But if there's something in the product that's wrong, I will contact you. I won't badmouth your product. I'd rather go back to you and say, right, you know what? Let's shake hands and not do the video. But yeah, I avoid sending my video for approval. So I own my content. If you want the content, you can pay for it. And, I'll share the script. But there's been, so Squarespace, for example, right? They're paying for the slot, and they're very keen that you represent the brand properly. But they won't say you must say this in this way or you must show this in this way. It's just for in that case, for them to say, hey, that's fine. You use the right logo. You've got the call to action set properly.
So even Squarespace, you don't get approved. You don't send out for approval. That's part of your stipulation.
That's one of the exceptions for now. I think in future I'll probably say, do you know what? I've done a few now. You know what to expect. Here's the script. And I'm happy for you to review it and maybe adjust, stuff in there, but nothing that would go against how I sound or how I want, if I want to make it a comedy sketch about it, they're not going to say, if they say, no, I don't want it that way, then.
So somebody like Squarespace, what do they send you a full script or just points that you need to cover in your 30 or 60 seconds?
They give you a brief, say, right, like you need to know the percentage of discount that you're offering, right? And but they'll give you a brief on the key features of the product. And that's the same for every brand. I mean, Casetify is the same, right? They'll say, right, these are the campaign topics that you need to cover. Sometimes I'll say, like, I won't mention the brands, but sometimes the product will suck or will have a defect on there. And that's okay. I'm happy to report on the product from this perspective, but I'm not going to show this part of the product or this accessory because I'm not happy with it myself as a consumer. So if you've seen a video on my channel about product, it probably, you can guarantee that I liked it myself enough
So you still manage to do that. You don't just take the money for the YouTube dollar for the sake of it. It's got to be something that you actually think is a decent product. You keep that bar set there.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, we as the channels evolve, right, we change how we deal with those things. I mean, my approach last year, for example, towards dedicated videos was very different to how it is now. I just drew a line on, I'm not doing dedicated videos unless it's really well paid, to be honest, because it damages your audience. My audience, they're coming for a video. They're not going to come for a security camera. Those videos will absolutely tank. So yeah, I've got bills to pay, and there's a studio, there's equipment, but at the same time, there's the audience, right? You've got to really be careful. I think when you're starting out, it's different, right? When you had like less than 2,000 subscribers, I'd say, yeah, do those things because they are also important for learning. But as you start becoming, your audience is trusting you, it's hard to then go, hey guys, here's a video about some random shit that you don't even care about.
Yeah.
How far in advance are you planning your video, Saran? Are you working by what is news each day pretty much?
So I would go. So I usually, because we get tons of news per day, I do have like an order, so I know what video I'm doing next. But just so Mark Gurman, who's like a popular reporter, if he has something groundbreaking, I usually put that right at the top and do that video ASAP. But usually I have like a few, So like, for example, over the last few weeks, we've had tons, like, I'd say like a report on the 15-inch MacBook Air. I think there was a report on, what was it? Another big product. Anyways, I can't remember. But basically, there's like 10 reports I already have in my notes I can cover. And if there's anything big, then I put that right at the top and cover that immediately. But yeah.
So are you on the Power newsletter every Sunday at 3:00 then?
Yes, yeah.
Are we all? I still haven't taught myself to pay the $30. $30 isn't it, to get to Bloomberg, to get their full unlocks?
That's the thing. So
big amount of
thankfully, money. Thankfully, 9 to 5 Mac and Mac Rooms exist, because they just literally, like, anything he says in the premium version, they just release it within a few minutes. So it's not a huge issue.
No.
But yeah, I'm subscribed to the newsletter. And every Sunday, that's my job, just to wait for that newsletter and get all the information down. Because
The Verge have just released a newsletter as well. I really enjoy listening to the Vergecast each week. And again, they had a newsletter, but they put it behind a paywall. And it's just, I know, I'm sort of in the business myself, so I understand the need for it. But it's, I was really tempted. It sounded a really good newsletter. It's like another 10. It's like you said, Sam, it's a subscription for
the subscriptions
everything.
Yeah.
And they soon top up.
I'm fine with paying a flat fee. Like, I'm totally fine paying up the flat fee, but like a lot of people are removing that and now just going subscription, like everywhere. That's what I hate. Like, I'm trying to minimize that.
And talking of different things, Mr. Substack in the middle there. Suddenly, you got your Substack newsletter going down.
Yeah.
I had to do the whole subscription thing, give my email, child's name and address, I had to give the whole stuff. But I'm on there now.
So, Alex, I'm actually quite interested. How's your conversion rate looking for that? Are people actually subscribing? And how's that all working?
I'm about to get 100 in the first month. Yeah, 100. I mean, it's free, right? So I'm not selling anything there. It's literally just me sharing behind the scenes stuff. I think that's important. I was reading a book. I forgot the name of the chap, which is really bad. Somebody. Blaine, maybe? I don't know. He was saying about creating super fans. I think that's the name of the book. It was an audiobook as well. Yeah, and I thought that makes a lot of sense, right? Because yes, creating an audience is important, but where are they, right? How do you connect with them? How do you know what they want? And I think it's really important. I didn't want to do it too soon. I think I did it at the right time. But I also want to create more things in the channel, like for maybe have something that is a subscription, but you got to be really careful with that as well. So what am I going to offer? And it has to be really, I mean, I'm still doing this as a side gig as well, right? So it's like, if I'm committing to someone's paying me money every month, you got to really deliver. So it becomes a bit more, whereas the newsletter, I just find it a nice release as well, because whether I'm having a bad week or a good week, I've already found that just talking and sharing that made me feel better, right? Whether it's good or bad. Because sometimes, you can't make a video about something, or you made a video that didn't go well. Sharing that with someone is I think is really cool.
Yeah, well, I do the video newsletter. And that, I've just recorded it this afternoon before doing this, and it was exactly that. You can just talk about all the things that have gone on this week, good, bad, however it's gone. And they've heard plenty of me saying, "Oh, this is terrible. No one's But then you get good weeks, and it's just nice. And there's a couple of really loyal people that every Sunday around about 7, 8 o'clock in the evening will get back to me, and sort of they will have watched the newsletter and have a little bit of conversation. And you just feel then you are doing this whole community thing, but it's enjoyable. That's the side that I do like, when you're not making a difference, but you're entertaining somebody, which is what it should be about, shouldn't it?
Yeah. And Saran, you just have a podcast as well with the other David, iCave Dave.
Yeah, iCave. We had to stop that because both of us got a bit busy, but yeah, that was quite fun. I'm hoping we can continue that later. Maybe as Apple season in the fall begins and we get new iPhones and other things, maybe we'll start that. But yeah, the podcast was fun.
Yeah, I remember joining a couple of them, and they were really, because you did as a live stream as well, right?
Yeah.
That's even harder, right? It's super hard.
Well, that's something I know you've been talking to me, saying we should do a live, and I've never done a live stream for one of these. And like sitting here now, obviously my eyes are looking at all different sorts of screens because I'm the one that's actually recording. Oh Christ, please let me be recording. And to do that and live as well, you'd be thinking, oh, this another element, another layer of things that can just go wrong.
Yeah, because you got to be aware of the comments. You got to, the chat becomes part. The chat is basically another person in the room, so you have to be really like balancing the questions, the audience. And
it was interesting what you were saying about the newsletter and potentially going sort of monetized pay route. When I speak to Kelsey last week, she's got a Patreon page, and I was talking to her about that because I don't think I've ever spoken to anyone directly about Patreon. And when I had Brian Tong on, for instance, he said, yeah, his Patreon pays him well, and the way he goes about it, he uploads content earlier to them, and obviously there's no adverts in it. But Kelsey said, I just don't feel that's right for my viewers.
Yeah.
They're loyal enough to watch me anyway. I don't think I should, if they're going to pay for something, it's got to be something over and above the content that's out there anyway. And that's how she felt justified about having a Patreon page.
That's exactly how I feel. I think it was Gerald Undone. I think I was watching recently where he said, he would never, he used the word never, put any content behind a paywall. So and his rationale was exactly that. It was like, people are already supporting you by growing your channel, through which you get sponsors, right? So it's kind of, I can see that rationale. So you're already getting paid.
You're asking for too much.
Unless you're giving something really, really valuable, I've seen artists do that a lot. Like, and I created a Patreon account pretty much as soon as I started the channel because I thought it was a thing. And I had a link on my website, which I think I now removed. But yeah, there's no. Yeah, I don't see what are people paying for, right?
Yeah, I couldn't think of a way of making it work.
That's a big worry. Like, are you offering enough value if they're going to subscribe? That's why I haven't done. Like, I know there's channel memberships I could do as well, but like, what would I offer? Like, I can't really do exclusive videos or like videos before they come out because I do news videos as well. So they come out. They need to come out as soon as possible to everyone. So yeah, it's a bit of a tough.
Sometimes balance, in really good, like well-performing videos, I get super thanks, which are, it blows my, even if it's like £5 or whatever, I get like, oh my gosh, someone actually
somebody
paid
liked
money
it
out of their pocket.
That
really takes me by surprise sometimes because I see it as just going way beyond what I guess
the bread and butter of this whole thing is the main channel, is the videos that we all put out, and if you're getting the loyalty from those people to watch you on every video you put out, that they were already giving you kind of what you asked of them. And if they're watching every video, they're giving you more than you originally asked for.
Yeah. If they're coming back and they're watching the videos, you can tell, right? We've all got those OG supporters, right? That are out there pretty much every single video. As soon as the video's out, they're watching it. But I think it's because they're enabling you to grow the channel and then get sponsored deals. Feels wrong to then go, hang on, if you want this extra bit here. So I just say, I just made a conscious decision for the newsletter and the behind the scenes stuff. So do you know what, that's extra. But yeah, so I mean, it's a mail list at the end of the day that maybe in future we can maybe sell merch or things like that. But I'm not thinking with that in mind. It's just a nice way of getting closer to the community, I think.
And Alex, a video you need to make is about your 5G router that you're now using. It's been a perfect stream.
It's interesting, right? Because one thing that I realized yesterday, I filmed this AK video, and obviously the result was 2 minutes video. But I recorded about 100 clips all morning, about 2 hours in the morning. It was a lot. It was a lot of files, hundreds of gigs. So what I've discovered was I came in and I just kind of was going through the photos and didn't think about it. Then realized within minutes that it was already up in Google Photos.
Wow.
So I was like, oh, I don't need to worry about the cables now because I can just download it. And it downloaded again in minutes. So the AirDrop cable issue that I've been having for ages, right, with Android, gets kind of solved with 5G. Because like it was uploaded in minutes, downloaded in minutes, and I was up and running, right? Almost like it wasn't as quick as AirDrop, of course, but
So is the 5G in your area that good?
amazing. Incredible. I mean, I showed you the screenshot. I think I'm getting half a gig.
But
It's
is 3 the provider for your new router? Is it 3?
Yeah.
Or 3? I'm surprised because I don't really get. Well, I'm using
They
Virgin
suck,
Mobile,
yeah.
but
Considering where you
They
said,
suck,
I
man.
know you live, Sarah, and it was kind of like, you should be getting really good speeds around there, shouldn't you? It should be really, near London like that. You should be cracking.
Yeah. I don't know. 5G hasn't been that good for me. I mean, this is Wi-Fi. Obviously, this is my home Wi-Fi, but 5G outside, it's been decent. It's not. Yeah, it's a bit overhyped, really. Like it hasn't been as good as I thought it would be. But maybe it's because we don't have millimeter wave yet in the UK. I think that's the thing in the US, which gives you like gigs and gigs per second. But it's been decent.
I mean, full disclosure, I used to work for 3, so I kind of know the ins and outs of their network. They actually own a lot of the spectrum, of the 5G spectrum. Their execution of it isn't great. But they actually have more than Vodafone and O2, which is crazy. So I think that there's definitely an element of traffic. If you're in an area that is, lots of people trying to do that, then the more people, the less performance. But yeah, I'm kind of got lucky here because I was giving up. I was with a business broadband. So it's like, in theory, it should be faster than a home broadband. I was only getting like 30 meg, if that.
Because you're wirelessly connected to 5G, and then you're wired into the router from your desk.
No wires.
You're still
no wires.
Wi-Fi. Oh, it's completely Wi-Fi, and the stream's been that good. Wow.
Yeah.
What's the router that you got?
Don't know.
I know you did put a picture up of it. Which one was it?
I think it's either a Huawei internal. We don't see what it is. It just says 3, but internally, I believe is a Huawei chip or Huawei modem or whatever it is. It's
it's been a real revelation because I know you were saying for the first time, I'm looking forward to the podcast because I actually got some decent speeds.
I'm paying like 30 quid a month, which is cheaper than my business broadband. It's just ridiculous. Yeah. When it works.
Guys, I'll have to go. I need to go soon. So
we're all good. We're all good. I'll be getting busy tomorrow, getting this edited up. I just hope that the syncing's a bit easier this time. I know it's a little bit of latency, but hey, I'll do my best. That's all I can tell you. I'll do my best. It's been lovely speaking to you, though, guys. Absolutely. I'll get all your latest details up there, your videos. I'll leave details in the show notes and stuff. So, Saran, been pleasure meeting you.
Good seeing you, Sarah.
Thank you for having me on the podcast.
Absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure. Alex, you're right. He was a good one. He was a good one. Right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers. See you soon. Bye.
See ya.